In index.html of the Pacific Highway case study, I've reduced the width of the teaser articles and of the footer link sections down here. Including the padding, the teaser articles are exactly half the width of the wrapper div, and the footer link sections are roughly 1/3. But they're still stacked on top of each other. To get them to move alongside each other, you need to use the float property, which moves an element to one side, allowing subsequent elements to move into the vacated space. To float an element, by the way, you must give it a width, but these elements already have declared widths, so that's no problem. Okay, let's use the float property on the teaser articles to move them into rows alongside each other. I've clicked inside one of the articles. That brings up teaser in the selectors pane of the CSS Designer. I'll select that, and the float property is in the layout section. It's just down a little bit. There it is. There are three possible values: left, right, and none. So let's click left, and what's happened is that the first article has floated to the left. It's made space on the right hand side, so Pfeffer Beach has moved up. There's no space to the right of Pfeffer Beach, so Elephant Seals moves down and Morro Bay moves up to the right. And let's see what happens if you use float right instead. This time Big Sur, which was the first item, has moved to the right. It's made space on the left for Pfeffer Beach to move up. Elephant Seals, which was the third item, has moved to the right, and Morro Bay has moved up on the left hand side alongside Elephant Seals. Setting float to none, of course, just is the ordinary default situation. We won't use that. Let's go back to floating left. Now, I've designed everything carefully, so it seems to work out very nicely, but let's say I put an extra paragraph inside this first floated element, Big Sur. Even without writing anything, you can see that a problem has occurred. This floated element is now taller, so Pfeffer Beach has moved up to the right, so has Elephant Seals. And because the bottom of this article here is in the way of Elephant Seals moving all the way over to the left, what happens is that Morro Bay moves over to the left. So what we need is a way to force this Elephant Seals article to move further down. And the way you do that is with the clear property. So what I'm going to do is to create a new class. So select highway.css in the sources pane, and then selectors. We'll create a new class which we'll call dot clear left. And then the clear property is also in the layout section. It's just underneath float. Select clear left. Then I'll click inside the Elephant Seals article. Select article teaser down here in the tag selector. I need to apply the clear left class as well as the teaser class. So open the class menu by clicking this little down button here, and then select apply multiple classes. This opens this dialog box. It lists all the classes that I've defined. Teaser is already selected. If I select clear left, then click OK, it now moves down onto the next line. Now the footer comes after these floated articles. Everything at the moment looks okay, but it's going to be a good idea to apply the clear left class also to the footer. So I'll click in here, I'll select footer in the tag selector, and then set the class to clear left. And that will ensure there's no problem if you make any changes to the items inside the teaser articles. So all we need to do now is to make the footer links, those sections, float left. So click inside there, select footer links in the selectors pane, and then we go down to float and float left. And if I scroll horizontally, you can see we've got a little bit of a problem here with this paragraph. So I'm going to click inside that paragraph, select the P in the tag selector. Now it says clear left here, but that's actually what's being inherited from the footer. If we open that, we need to actually set it to clear left for the paragraph itself, and now it clears underneath those floated sections. So to summarize, when you set the float property on an element, the browser removes it from the normal flow of the document and moves it to one side or the other to make room for whatever follows. As long as there's sufficient room alongside the floated element, subsequent elements move up into the vacated space. Floated elements must always have a declared width, and if you want to prevent an element from moving up alongside a floated element, like this paragraph down here, then you need to set the clear property to force it down to the next line. I should add that modern browsers have a more sophisticated way of arranging elements in rows and columns using flexible box layout, or Flexbox. Unfortunately, Flexbox requires a minimum of Internet Explorer 10, so for the time being, using the float property is the most reliable cross-browser method of moving elements alongside each other.